Hi, I'm Robert Ochoa, and of course I'm here to do another movie review. Lately, the theme has been dinosaurs, and a lot of the movies that you've seen I saw as a kid, and I kind of just grew up enjoying them. So, last time we looked at two dinosaur movies that were made by the Hammer production. There was 1,000,000 Years BC and When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth. The one thing both those movies had in common, besides being made by the same studio, is that it's live action with, of course, stop motion animation. The actors are all, of course, human, and then the dinosaurs are all stop motion animation. But anyways, what I wanted to tell you is that today, this review is going to be just the same, stop motion animation. Also on VHS. The last video we saw was VHS, so this was also VHS, and this one is Planet of the Dinosaurs. That's right. Funny story about this movie in particular. Back in the days when I was a kid, during the 80s, we had a store here in my neighborhood, the beautiful town of Canoga Park. It was called Pick and Save. Basically, it was like a Kmart, Target, but a real poor man's Target. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, and this was something that me and my grandma would do during the summer. I spent my summers with her. We would walk to Pick and Save, go eat at the Kentucky Fried Chicken that was right there, and that was basically our day. One thing I really liked about Pick and Save, and I'm just gonna tell you straight out, this is a nostalgic memory for me, is that they had everything super cheap, but they also had the stuff that wasn't like mainstream, that wasn't big anymore, and it was kind of like, well, we're not selling this, what are we gonna do? And they just threw it at Pick and Save. I remember they used to sell Inhumanoid toys way after the show has stopped. They had Inhumanoid color books. They also had Aliens. Aliens from the movie Aliens, the Ridley Scott film. There was a line of toys and action figures that were supposed to go with this show. The show, I don't think ever really took off. I don't remember seeing it. I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I ever saw it. I do remember the action figures, and they had like cool spaceships and stuff, and they had like Ripley and all them, and they weren't from the movie though. They were from like either a show or a comic book. I can't remember what it was, but they sold all the alien toys there, and I remember like buying the aliens for like $1.99 and buying the vehicles, which were big spaceships and like big cars that the toys would fit into. Those were like $4 something. So it was a really cheap place, and if you weren't picky, and if you weren't like, oh, I really want this, I really want that, because you saw it on TV, but you just went there and saw a bunch of toys. That was a great place to go. It was also a great place to go for movies, especially movies that weren't really seen in mainstream video stores. Back then, we would buy movies from Kmart, Target, the place I went to, Music Plus, my video rental store, would sell movies. But a lot of movies that I bought on VHS, or a lot of movies that my grandma bought or that my mom bought me, came from Pick and Save, because they were cheap movies. They were made for kids, and this is how it happened. And this is how I got Planet of the Dinosaurs. It was a movie that they saw there. It was probably cheap as hell, and that's why they bought it for me. And I mean, it's by Burbank Video. Does that company even exist anymore? And is it Burbank in the San Fernando Valley? I don't know. It says a winner of a science fiction film award. I don't know what award that is. I really haven't done my history on this video. I just kind of want to put it out there for you guys. Anyways, this is the second one, because I did have one before that, which was that we got at Pick and Save. And one day, I believe I was taking it to my aunt's house, or I was taking it to a friend's house, and what happened was the tape came right out, fell on the ground, and it broke. So naturally, I was sad, because I really liked this movie, and I didn't get a replacement for it until maybe like 3 years later, when we went to Pick and Save, and I go, hey, there's that movie, Planet of the Dinosaurs, I once owned. can I buy it? And I think it was only like for $1.99 or $2.99. They're like, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. So now on to the movie. This is a bad movie. This is one of those movies that's so bad, you have to just sit down and watch it to see where it's going. The story is that there's a spaceship whose nuclear reactor is going to blow up. So, you know, a crew, or part of the crew, escapes on an escape vessel, an escape ship, or an escape pod, whatever you want to call it. They actually get away. As they're flying away, the reactor blows up and the whole spaceship blows up. And let me just say this from the beginning, the special effects are really bad. And they seem to get worse throughout the movie. Anyways, what happens is that now that exploded and they're losing pressure and all this stuff, so they have to make an emergency landing, and they go to the nearest planet. So as they're going into the nearest planet, they discovered that it has oxygen, it's livable, so they said, forget it, let's just do it, let's just land there. And they ended up crash landing in a lake. The spaceship's sinking, everybody gets off, they take some supplies, they get on land, and they have no idea where they are. They're like, well, it's very similar to Earth, but we have no idea where they're at. And of course, within like the first 20 minutes of the film, we get our first killing. A girl goes, oh my god, there's a emergency signal thing on the spaceship, I'm going to go swim and get it. So as she's swimming to go get it, and this guy joins her, this aquatic dinosaur, you really can't tell what it is, but it attacks her and it eats her, and everybody freaks out, and they don't know what's going on. All they know is that they're on an alien planet, and they have no idea what to do. So they're camping out, and they hear roars at night. The movie's really cheesy, and you can tell just by the acting it's cheesy. This guy goes, I've heard that before. And they're like, well, what kind of animal is it? He goes, no. It's not the animal, it's the type of roar. It's a hunting call. Whatever's out there is big and hungry. I mean, just really bad acting. And I just... I can't explain it to you. You have to watch it. I wish I could show you clips from the video, but unfortunately I don't have the technology to do that. But anyways, it gets great, because then the next morning they wake up and this guy wakes everybody up and he goes, we got to get out of here. And they go, why? And he takes them over and he shows them a giant brontosaurus. So then they come to realize that they're on a planet inhabited by dinosaurs, and they're just like, oh, well, I guess humans haven't evolved yet. And they're like, oh, you know what, that's us. So throughout the whole movie, they meet all different types of dinosaurs, and they're trying to survive. Until all of a sudden they come across a T-Rex who is bent on killing them. I don't know why this is, but it seems like he just wants to murder them, eat them, and he just stalks them throughout the whole movie. And that's the whole story of the movie, is that not only they're trying to survive with giant dinosaurs, giant spiders, but they're also trying to, you know, avoid this T-Rex. And he won't leave them alone. They even climb to a high place, and they think they're going to be safe because they think the T-Rex can't climb up there. And so what? The T-Rex still goes up there and breaks their gates down and kills the hottest chick in the whole movie. So what can I say? I think this movie was made in the 70s. It had to have been made in the 70s. I don't know. I don't know why, but it doesn't say on here. But just look at the style, especially the hair, the mustaches. I mean, the guys kind of have afros, the girls kind of have afros. It has that whole 70s vibe to it. They all have like that porno star mustache look. It's a really bad movie. They're wearing like, the guys are wearing like jumpsuits, or they're wearing like different clothes, and the clothes actually represent what they are, like captain and just, you know, soldier and president and all this kind of goofy stuff. A lot of goofy stuff happens in the movie. Like this girl, she's scared, so this guy gives her laser gun, and he goes, if anything comes at you, just shoot it. So as she's walking across a river, because of what happened earlier in the lake, she falls and the gun's completely dead. I mean, this is a movie about the future and the guns aren't waterproof. Don't you think that somewhere along the line, if we created lasers, we might be able to create waterproof lasers? I don't know. Maybe it's during a time when lasers were just being made and not perfected. But it's real funny because I love these movies that are about the future, and then you watch them, and then you go, wow, that's nothing like what we thought, you know. They're carrying little things around, or like putting them next to fruit and like, oh, it's edible, and it's all like, we still haven't made anything like that yet, but yet at the same time it looks like a clunky Game Boy. I'm pretty sure if we made one of those, it'd be probably smooth. All you have to do is just look at iPads now and Nooks and all that kind of stuff, and you would kind of see, you know, the direction of technology. So it's kind of fun to look at old movies trying to make futuristic technology, and now we can look at those old movies and go, wow, they're like nothing near what we have now, you know. Besides the props being bad, the dinosaurs look bad too in this one. I hate to say it, I'm a big fan of stop motion animation. I love it, but seriously, in this movie, the dinosaurs look bad. The dinosaurs are mostly one color. There's not a lot of color to them. There's not like a lot of definition to them. Just looking at movies like 1 million years BC and When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, you could tell that there was more of a budget and they took more time. The T-Rex looks a mess. He's just a solid green color with like yellow teeth, and it looks bad. I mean, it just looks like a green clay toy walking around. There's like this other little weird lizard dinosaur that the T-Rex kills. It looks really bad. It's a pinkish reddish color. Well, more pink. I think it was supposed to be red, but it's pink, and it's just doesn't look right at all. There's even times where like the dinosaur, especially the T-Rex, when he roars and you do a close up of his face, it kind of looks like his jaw's going crooked. Like, I guess like if, you know, maybe the clay was just, we couldn't do it right, so we're just gonna do the best we can. Acting's terrible. This is the worst acting in the world. Some actors go over the top, and some actors look like they're just reading line. Other actors look like they're in a totally different movie. And I mean, what can I say? It's a bad movie, but I think any fans of dinosaur films would like this movie. I enjoy this movie because, you know, most of these movies I saw from my childhood, so I grew up watching them. And I look at them now and I go, wow, this is terrible. But I still like them. The music's terrible in this. They're constantly just playing like the same music over and over again, and it just sounds like a synthesizer being you just keep pressing one button on a synthesizer. It's terrible. I can give you an example of one of the like songs, I guess, one of the tracks. The dinosaur just a small dinosaur just attacked a girl and they chased it away. And as they were chasing it, the T-Rex came out of nowhere and killed that dinosaur. So then as they're walking, they're like, oh, the track stopped cold. And like, no, look, something bigger was up here and it killed it. And then they're all just staring at it. And this is the sound, literally, this is the sound that you hear as they're just staring at the footprint. I actually thought that the dinosaur was coming out behind them and it was going to kill them at once. But then I realized the music stopped when it went to the next scene. So it's definitely a bad movie. But I like it. You should check it out just to see how bad it is. If you're one of those people that like to watch movies about how the future was gonna be like and it never happened and it's the year 2013, this is definitely a movie to check out to see what people in the 70s thought of the future. There is one hot girl who looks amazing in this movie. It's very unfortunate that she gets eaten by the T-Rex, but she's extremely gorgeous, she's extremely hot, and once again, when I turned into that awkward teenage age and I saw this movie, I was like, wow, why didn't I notice her before? Forgot what her name was, but she was also in an episode of Wonder Woman. I looked her up on, was it IBDMTDWattmovie.com, whatever that site is. I know what it is, I just don't go on there, and I don't remember the name that well. But anyways, terrible movie, terrible acting, terrible special effects, terrible costumes, terrible soundtrack. It's a terrible movie, but I guarantee you, you'll like it. You'll sit down, you'll enjoy it. If you're a big dinosaur fan and if you love dinosaur movies. So, Planet of Dinosaurs. Check it out. It's good. And since we're on the subject of dinosaur movies still, and we're talking about a bad dinosaur movie that's funny, how about I talk about a good dinosaur movie that's funny? If you're wondering what kind of dinosaur movie out there is a comedy, I got one in store for you. You'll be surprised. So, that's next time, and I'll see you guys later. Alright?